Hey Leo. Let's see what I got for you. Let's see where you're at. A couple of cards from here. Adjacent possibilities and limitless potential. What you put into it is what you get out of it. I like that. Flattery and praise. Leo. Envious and jealous. I want what you have. Telepathic communication. DOD and military. Occult or coven. Gossip and shit talking and codependency. So, from what I'm seeing here is that they see your potential. Absolutely, Leo. I know most people do. When they see you, you have a very charismatic and enigmatic persona. And I bet people do have a lot of flattery and praise to you, even though they don't even share it with you, and perhaps they even talk down to you sometimes or belittle you. It's definitely there, because and a lot of times when it comes out as like small talk, like shit talking, or people talking down to you, belittling you, it's because they do have a sense of jealousy, because perhaps you are given things that they feel that they've been doing something longer, or they feel they're more skilled than you, or have been at the company longer. You're given certain kind of opportunities that they felt that they deserve more than you. And when it comes to a lot of blessings, and ultimately it comes with a lot of envy and jealousy. There's been someone who's been trying to telepathically communicate with you. Now, they could be in the military, or you could have had some military kind of connections. Maybe you're a military brat, maybe you served time in the military, maybe you worked in DOD as well. If you were like, military brat as in like children, military family. And perhaps you never did military service in time for yourself, but perhaps you worked for them in some kind of capacity as well. But there's some kind of connection that you've had with them for a while. Now, it comes a lot with the potential and blessings and gifts and charisma that you have that bring you a lot of blessing. You're going to have a lot of, issues that come along with it. And I believe there is certain people, or if you do have those past affiliations, if not currently, you did in the past, or you were dealing with somebody who did. Perhaps they've been trying to dirty your name a bit, run your name and your kind of your character and all of that, like just under the mud, Let's do a elemental cross for you. Knight of Swords on its side. Knight of Swords, this is someone who's aggressive. Can be a fast talker. Someone who can run off at the mouth really quickly. And the Knights, they're doers. They're not messengers, they're doers. They go towards things. And perhaps someone wants to give you a message, or you want to give someone a message. Or someone has given you a message in the past. Currently, Two of Wands. There's someone who's given you this message of truth in the past. Perhaps they wanted to work with you in some kind of way or capacity. But currently, you're just trying to expand right now. You're trying to plan. Figure out how to expand whatever business, whatever path that you're trying to go to or go towards. Trying to expand some kind of business, but somebody wants to give you some kind of message in the past, and somebody wants to work with you, or you want to work with somebody. New challenges. Ace of Pentacles. Ooh. Fajola. You've been working to expand something for a really long time. But it feels like whatever you've been doing, whatever you've been trying to go towards, you've been having blockages of, like, you know, that opportunity or whatever you're working towards, like, really coming into action, like really manifesting itself. And it's not like you weren't working hard, but it's like obstacle after obstacle. Then it just feels like the opportunity never really comes in. There is a need to be really resourceful with your trying to get monetary funds in many different aspects, in many different ways. In order to make whatever dreams that you are trying to manifest into this real reality into existence. The outcome is a new emotional beginning. Somebody wants to work with you, and somebody wants to give you some kind of emotional offer. You want to work with somebody, or you're just trying to expand with what you're going on. And even though you keep planting seeds, it feels like nothing's really growing out of it. You've been trying to work on something, and this Three of Swords, though. Why is there a Three of Swords? The Hermit of this Virgo underneath. Maybe you were dealing with a Virgo in the past. And maybe you dealt with a lot of people or situations who kind of talk down to you in a way, who try to sabotage you, who had this, instead of helping you achieve and progress, they kind of just tore you down and sabotage you. And it's people that you really, really loved, and you thought that would be there for you. And it's like every time you try to work with somebody, it's like it just ended up, you know, like more of a conflict than it was a benefit. So you're trying to plant your own seeds right now, because it's like every start that you were getting, it was like a false start. And I think in the past you could have been dealing with a Virgo. And in the past, you had some communication with this Virgo. And it was like they were trying to plant some kind of beginnings, but it was like maybe this person, this, him, her, whatever, it's like it was always a kind of a false start. It's always promises of something more or something better, but it just never manifested to anything. And that was really like, it had potential, but the potential never really, like, I don't know, progressed to anything more. It was just like, wasted effort. And maybe that was the issue. Is like you feel like it was wasted effort. And it's like every time I try to work with this person, maybe it was off and on, it just never worked out. Because I never got a real tangible offer. I never got an offer that actually amounted to much. And, I feel like maybe you felt like this wasn't something that was gonna amount to anything all that much either. And so you decided to keep your head down and build on your own expansion and try to make your own fortune, because it's like you can't depend on these people who never really pulled through for you. And that's why it was like, or something just held you back from actually really giving an offer, even though you wanted to expand and you wanted to give a real offer. But it was like maybe you were having issues, like you were having money trouble, or you felt stuck in some kind of way because you had some kind of investments that you were waiting to pay back, or dividends that like be paid to you or owed to you in some kind of way. And it was like you were trying to get something to stick around, but you never really gave a particular offer. I'm not sure. But somebody has been, I think this Virgo has been trying to communicate with you telepathically. And if it's somebody that you've been thinking of for a really long time, I think this person did time in the service if you didn't. And maybe they did at the time when you met this person. Or maybe you did. And you saw that you wanted to work with this person, but you're having financial issues to actually go towards it. And it was like you were trying to maintain something without actually giving any kind of real tangible offer, because you felt like you didn't have enough to give. Or maybe you were just planting a lot of seeds, like in a lot of places, and you felt like, you didn't even have enough to give a real tangible offer. But I feel like you want to go towards somebody in particular. You want to open communication and plant seeds with somebody, and maybe open up some line of communication that you haven't been speaking to for a while. And maybe you want to start something anew, or somebody wants to do this with you. They want to offer you some kind of new beginning. And now maybe you had some kind of financial funds come through for you. And it's like now you're able to go towards and give someone an offer that you couldn't before. Maybe when you're trying to work with somebody that you have a, deep psychic connection with, it was like always kind of a failure to launch. And perhaps like you know, like it was kind of a flippant connection, that it was always light. You would come in and out of the situation, and or they would just come in and out of your life. It was off and on, start and stop. And you know, perhaps there might have been some shit talking on either one of your parts about the other person as well, like, oh, I don't really like Leo, or whatever, Leo's like this, Leo's like that. Or perhaps you were talking about somebody like that because you didn't want to really admit how much that you cared for this person, possibly. Or maybe you just had, you know, a lot of options up ahead of you. I don't know. Which is it? If someone was doing that to you, or you were doing that to somebody. But it's like this open communication. It's like, yeah, it's like I had this hopes for something to work out better and to work out good. And I sent out a communication, and, you know, I wanted to plant seeds with possibilities that it would be something better, or it could grow into something better. And I want to come and work with you. And I feel like somebody wants to come, you want to offer something to somebody because you feel heartbroken now that it's done. Or they want to offer something to you now that it's done. Perhaps they're going to come in because they feel like, look, it's the world upside down. They want to talk about this past ending that happened. They want to close some kind of gap and open up this line of communication because there was an ending that happened here. And now, or you do, and now it's like perhaps you were both waiting on the other, and you thought the other was going to reach out, but they never really did. I feel like, you know, every time that you open lines of communication with this person, like you would always think that there would be tons of potential, and, you know, you would lay on the flattery, and or they would. And then it's like, there was this always an air of like jealousy or envy between the two, or you of them or they of you, and or some kind of competition. Maybe it was even a control aspect. It's like they didn't want you really to get away, or you didn't want someone to get away. And so it became kind of like, oh, I give a little and I take back, or I give a little because that's all I have to give, but I expect this person to be around as well. And then it's like whatever happened, it was like an end to that because maybe somebody wanted a bit more that you feel like you couldn't really offer, and so you backed off and it became an end. But then once this person left your life, or you know, it's like this person hurt themselves walking away from you, this Virgo. They really did. Even if they didn't think they could offer you anything, or perhaps they felt like they didn't have enough, or they could, or perhaps they thought, you know, that you really weren't all that, you didn't really mean all that much to them until they left. It's like, you know, that song, it's like, I only loved her till she left, you know. I only loved her when I saw her go. What? Like this Virgo, they may have broke your hearts, but they broke their own heart by breaking your heart, and they didn't think that they would be as stuck as much as they were, but they are. They were stuck. But they're the ones that definitely walked away. Oh, yeah. And it's like, you know what? I keep on trying to have all these like starts with dead ends and situations that never really worked out. And I'm just going to put this to rest, and I'm just going to expand on my own business, on my own tangible abundance and wealth and, you know, like financial realm and world. Is because I can't depend on these bitches that come running in and out of my life. And it's like, why do I always deal with people that run in and out of my life? And it's like, okay, well, it's probably because I allow them back in. So I'm not going to let this person back in because they don't really offer that much anyway. And then once you did that, they felt it. Like they felt the cutoff, and they thought they could ignore it for as long as they did. But it's like the longer that you stayed away, the louder the voice got. And it was like, it became almost deafening to them. It's like, I gotta talk to Leo. I have to talk to Leo. And, you know, now that they feel like, okay, now Leo's not going to contact me, I can't wait around for Leo, then I have to go and reach out to Leo because I've been waiting around for them to come chase me. And it's like, or I've been waiting for them to come towards me. And it's like, they don't want to wait anymore. And now they want to offer something, maybe. But it's like, and maybe it's like you've been feeling like a void, and you've been feeling burnt out of going through all of these angles and all of these roads that never really amounted to much. And the obstacles became, it's like, even if you started trying to start a business, even if you're trying to like have plans, and it was like, I put so much effort into everything, and you know, it just never really amounts to all that much, and like I never really get the opportunity or payout, and I'm starting to lose passion for it. So like, what's the point? Like, you know, like, what's the point? Why am I going to keep working on something if it's like I never see a great outcome from it? Like, what's the point? Going forward, somebody wants to offer you some kind of help or an emotional offer. This is going to be the help because they feel emotionally connected to you, and they want to come in and speak to you about it. At least they feel some sort of empathy or loss, or like they want to offer you this cup of emotion or friendship, and they want to open this line of communication, Knight of Swords, and they want to come rushing in to offer you this and speak to you, and to maybe to finally be open, because it's like they try to be cold, but then it didn't really work out because they know, as cold as they are, they just kind of hurt themselves. But then the obstacle, it's like the longer they stayed away, thinking that, hey, I'll just work on my own situation, or I'll just wait for them to reach out, because I know the longer I stay away and I try to telepathically communicate with them, they'll come around eventually. But it's like, instead of you having that voice that got louder, it got louder for them, and it kind of dulled with you. And perhaps like whatever you're working on as well, you're starting to get burnt out because you're not seeing like the tangible like benefits or abundance from it. Someone wants to offer you some kind of help and assistance because they care about you. This communication that they have, like, they may have even talked a lot of shit about you too in the end when they first initially walked away from you, when they thought that, you know, like they could have been like, yeah, Leo's crazy, whatever, I don't need Leo. But like I said, that voice got too deafening and too loud for them to ignore. They want to work on something with you. They want to plant seeds with you. And they want to finally come and take charge and to maybe actually grow something this time, because it's like that song, you know, you gained the world but lost your soul. Like this person attained a certain kind of financial abundance because they wanted to wait until they felt ready in themselves financially and emotionally, probably sow their wild oats, save $1 billion where they thought, and they had some kind of goal, or maybe you did, and it's like, okay, when I meet this goal, then I'll come back around. But it's like, maybe they're realizing now that I'm never really going to meet that goal, and I'm just kind of hurting myself to stay away. The outcome is, you know, they want to come and take charge and plant seeds, or maybe you are. Look, this is crazy. Somebody's seeing the light. Now the sun is illumination, it's truth, it's revelations. And the hermit's holding the lamp, trying to find the light, and he finds the sun with the hermit. And his journey is, the hermit has lived his entire life, starting off as a fool, and the hermit is pretty much at his old age, and after he attained all of his tangible wealth, he wanders off into his old age, into the wilds, into the darkness, trying to find not just a tangible abundance, but also a spiritual abundance, because now spirit is calling to him. And he's trying to seek some kind of light. And maybe he went within and he saw what he was missing, or what he felt like he didn't have enough of, or what he felt that he didn't really need, and he tried to seek out, he or she, or maybe you, try to seek out what they thought they needed in wrong avenues, which just left them felt empty in the end. It wasn't fulfilling in the end. And maybe that was the thing that made him or her have to really go within and be like, okay, I thought I wanted a ton of options. I just thought I wanted just tangible wealth, you know. But then what does the hermit do? He walks away from that tangible wealth into the darkness, into the abyss, and he tries to find himself and his connection with the divine, his spirituality, because he hears the call of the wild, of spirit call to him, and he's trying to find some kind of enlightenment. But it's like this Virgo, definitely broke your heart in the past, or, you know, perhaps you've done this to the other, and, or perhaps there was like this trust issue with this codependency here. It's like maybe you both had these trust issues that even if you found something really good, you could never really truly trust it because you have these abandonment issues that you didn't work out, or maybe they did as well. And that's why they would just work on things that they thought that they could actually control, is the tangible realm. But it's like you go seeking that out is just the tangible. When you do attain a certain amount of it, you never really have, like, you never really feel like you have enough or that it's fulfilling in any way, because it's not the tangible, because that's the illusion that people go towards. And then because it's meant to have this obsession in this life for you to in order for you to sacrifice so much into it to try to attain it. And when you do, you find out that it's not as fulfilling as you thought it was. It was empty. So that way you can see what's real is your spirituality, is divinity, is being one with the divine and yourself, and being truly fulfilled without having a tangible truth or proof to actually validate that. And perhaps this person needed a lot of validation. And, you know, and it's like, and maybe you did too. And it was a validation that this person didn't really have because it wasn't something that they really kind of gave themselves either. And that was this internal emptiness, you know? You went through a period of, you may be going through a period where you feel like you're not getting real tangible opportunities with something that you once were passionate about, but you're not getting a tangible proof of whatever you're working towards. But I think you should keep working towards it, because this is definitely like a gathering stage. This is like you're planting your seeds into, you know, becoming your own boss, like, you know, the king of your own castle and the emperor of the land. You could have Aries in your chart, or this definitely could be you as well. But it's like I feel this burnout too. That it's like I keep on trying, like I need some kind of like motivation or like some kind of proof into whatever I'm working for is actually making a difference. Because even though you are, it doesn't seem like you are. It's like I need some kind of like open communication or validation from the other side. And maybe this person kind of starved you from it. And it became very parasitic, where it's like you kept on giving, you wanted to work on something with this person, you were open, you wanted to open lines of communication, but you just never felt like you were getting anything back. And you're like, well, yeah, what's the point? Like, and you went through some kind of lull in like all of parts of your life, and perhaps you were kind of going through some kind of depression, because it was like whatever route that you took, it was with the intention that you were gonna become your own boss and, you know, go after your dreams and your passions. But it was like I work, and nothing seems to be working all that much. And I'm losing steam. Somebody wants to come and give you this offer of help, this communication, this truth, because they care about you. They have a deep psychic tie to you. But it's like, I'm not even sure that you're willing to take this offer, because it's like, you kind of screwed me over before, and I'm just going to kind of keep to myself, and I'm going to work on just my tangible abundance and wealth, because, at least that won't hurt me, at least that won't fucking lie to me, because I've been screwed over by this person before. Like, why would I keep letting this person back in to take another shot at me? It's like, that kid riding a bicycle, and the parent is trying to teach him how to ride a bike, and then the kid's like with just two wheels, and they're like, well, okay, you kick off, I'll hold the rails, and you pedal, but don't worry, I won't let go, just keep pedaling, and until you feel comfortable enough, and I'll let you know when I let go of your bicycle, so you won't fall over. And then he runs with you, and he runs with you, and then he lets go without any kind of warning, and then you go skidding off into thorny bushes, and you're like, holy shit, I really hurt myself. You told me you weren't gonna let go. And then they totally let go, and you were all cut up and hurt, and you became like distrustful. And perhaps you've had a lot of people who did that to you, and that's why you became way more solitary, because it's like you have these trust issues now, and perhaps this life became a huge keep away game. But if you're feeling discouraged right now, I want you to keep hanging on, because I feel like whatever you're working towards, it's going to take time and work and patience and diligence for you to actually come out what you really wanted to. And it's as long as you keep on working, you are going to have a good outcome eventually. You just have to be really resourceful with you know, um, many different areas in life to be able to fully work on what you do want. Maybe have many different sources of income instead of your one path that you were passionate about that doesn't seem to be working, that's not giving you anything tangible wise. It's like maybe you should seek in other means, of income, if it's not like this business you wanted to create, or, maybe you becoming a musician. And it's like, oh man, it's like I've been trying to do this professionally for so long. And it's like, I have long, lulls in my position, and, nothing's really coming up with it. Then maybe it's time for you to, get a side gig of like part-time or full-time, and or find some kind of other way of maybe start a YouTube channel into teaching music classes or lessons, or teaching music or art classes if it's art, maybe teaching art as well on top of a part-time job, so you could still kind of work on towards what you're going to, instead of putting all your eggs into one basket, and then you drain your energy because you're not getting back what you thought you would, or you expected to. And there's a need to, like, you know, be really resourceful with your time and energy into like really making the whatever you want to work out to the best of your abilities. And it's like you're going to have to spread yourself thin in many different ways. But I feel like somebody wants to definitely reach out to you, and they want to offer you some kind of help because they do feel for you a lot. But it's like, I feel this huge distrust that you want to block anybody out who wants to come towards you, especially people that screwed you over in the past, because now this person comes in, oh, I see the light, I see the light. And you're like, great, you see the light, but how many times did you screw me over? Or how many times did you leave me hanging? Like, you come over with these starts, these false starts, and then it never amounts to anything. How many times did this happen? You know, it's like, what's the point? I let you back in and you want to do another round of this? Like, and you throw me off track and balance? Like, what's the point? You know, and this person's like, oh, I've seen the light now. I've seen the light, you know? But it's like, okay, you've seen the light now. Like, I need something with more substance, you know, because I need something that's actually going to grow into like a harvest that's going to help and support me into my life and my endeavors. I don't need a fly-by-night person to come in and out of my life, take what they want and leave, you know what I mean? And leave the rest as soon as it's depleted. It's like, you don't want to waste your time and energy that's not feeding you back or like giving you something back. It's like, you know, it would be like a waste of time and energy. And it's like, now this person is feeling the loss because they expected you to come in or reach out to this person and they didn't, and that's the only reason why. Ugh, this is that story. It's the same fucking story. I don't know. I feel like this person has been kind of confused. Like, what they thought that they wanted wasn't fulfilling. And it's like they went out searching for what they want in many different avenues, and it just wasn't fulfilling. And now they're coming back because they found out it didn't fulfill. What's to say they're not gonna be fulfilled the moment they come back in again, like they usually are? And how much is it? Is it because it's this fear of being abandoned, you know? Maybe this person thought that you were delving into some kind of like a cult or witchcraft, or they thought you were a part of some kind of cult or coven. And it's like, maybe they had a lot of preconceived ideas about you that kind of like had them stay away. And it's like, who's to say that whatever enlightenment that they have is not another short-lived preconceived idea as well? I don't know. We'll see. What should you do, and what's your advice? I want to talk to you and get to know you. False alarm, addiction to negative thinking and false belief. Birth and new beginnings and plain like vanilla. So maybe you have a couple people wanting to come in, but it's like this person did have a lot of preconceived ideas about you. And perhaps you did of each other. And could be this whole like fear of abandonment, trust issues, codependency. It's like you're afraid of letting anyone too close, because if you let anybody close, that you're just gonna give them a free for all to just like run you over with their car, and maybe they have the same issues as you. Plain like vanilla. Maybe they thought that being tied down was something that wasn't really meant for them. Clean bill of health. I feel like because of this codependency, there could have been jealousy issues. Maybe you have these jealousy issues, or it goes both ways. Maybe because they saw that you were getting a lot of attention, or you saw that they were getting a lot of attention, or maybe whatever business that you were growing, you were put out into like, into the public in some kind of way, like a musician, artist, like a public speaker. You could have your own website in some kind of way. And they saw that after they left, they saw kind of what you were doing, and they saw kind of the attention and praise that you were getting, and it bred some kind of like mistrust. And it's like this like fear of abandonment, this fear of being left behind. It just got in the way of everything. Maybe this person was going through a lot of health issues as well. And maybe you were going through a lot of health issues as well, but it's like it's a fear of letting anybody in, because you fear that whoever you're going to let in is going to screw you over. And I feel like, yeah, you both thought this way about each other. This person is going to come in and they want to actually make a go of it. They want to actually have some kind of new beginning, and have something possibly conventional. Maybe they had a fear of some kind of health scare and or some kind of like near death experience, and whatever it was, it kind of like really left them into prioritizing their life and what was really important to them. It's like the moment they've had this like release or awakening, like they thought they were going to die of some kind of disease, or they got in a bad car accident that they thought that they were going to die from, and it's like they lived, and then all of a sudden everything, like this perspective is so much more clear to them as into what's really important. Is it getting a lot of bitches or attention, or men or women or whatever? Is it just that tangible wealth? It's not, because it's like whatever flashed in front of their eyes, like this awakening. They found out what's really important. It's like they had to be woken up. Maybe because they see you planting seeds now into yourself, into creating your own abundance. And it's like, wow, I didn't know that this Leo was so amazingly gifted or capable of this. And it's like, or that it made them see really a different light, see you in a different light, or whatever this experience that they had. It really made them see things in a whole different light. I feel like somebody is going to come in, they want to come and talk to you, they want to get to know you, but it's like, you know, what you put into it is what you get out of it. Maybe they were listening to a lot of gossip and shit talking, and it's like, and they made themselves think a lot of their own preconceived ideas about who you are, but it was nothing like who you really were. It was just their ideas of what it was. But whatever awakening that they have, whatever understanding that came to light, whatever near-death experience or just false alarm that came, it really woke them up. Now, it's okay to open up lines of communication with somebody as long as you're able to be really honest with yourself. Like, did you act in a unflattering way and being really jealous in some kind of way? Did you have some codependency issues where you pushed this person away as well? Or you both had kind of degrees of that? Maybe there's a need to be a little bit honest about that. And, you know, it's like, it's okay to communicate as long as, you know, you accept both parts of it, but you don't just, you know, like trust blindly just because, you know, you've watched something and they want to come back out, because you don't want another false start, but you just want to be really honest with, like, you know, like, if there was something that you've held back, if there was something that you wanted to communicate to, but you've held back, and now this is a chance to do it. Is this Mercury retrograde coming soon? I don't know. Like, maybe you should take the time to go ahead and do that, and to, like, you know, share your thoughts and feelings about it too, without any real expectations except to unburden yourself with whatever you felt like you were holding on to because of this fear, this lack of trust, and this fear of abandonment, and a fear of letting anybody in because you expect everybody to just stab you right in the back the moment you do. And it's like, you know, what you think about, you bring about. And if it's like this business idea or this expansion of business in some kind of way, I feel like, you know, you're letting your negative thoughts or your addiction to negative thinking get the best of you. And that's the thing that's really holding you back from actually progressing, because you would have all of these starts and stops and starts and stops, and then you'd be unsure of yourself, and then you'd second guess yourself, and then you're not getting that validation, you get burnt out, and then you would kind of step away from it. And there was no consistent kind of like working on to the situation, because each time you would start, you would stop, so things would come up. And it's like, maybe you just have so much on your plate, and it's like this passion and not getting the tangible validation, it just became too much. And now it's like, okay, if this isn't working here, then I have to be more resourceful into getting all my other eggs in the basket, and I have to like bring together all sources of areas that I could supplement, you know, what I need into order to survive. Doesn't mean to drop whatever that you were passionate about. It just means to be like you know, more resourceful into supplementing, you know, your life in order to actually work on your dreams systematically, because it's like giving yourself so much pressure for something to work out and just going down one angle. And it's like all of this pressure, it's starting to get the best of you, and you're holding yourself back because of it. You know, it's like, okay, I put everything, all my cards on the table, like, you know, I'm gonna go to this one direction, and if it doesn't work out each time, I'm gonna lose confidence because I have so much writing on this. But it's like, if you just, you know, if you mitigate some of that risk by getting multiple sources of income, you will still be able to reach for something that you are passionate about. And you'll have more of a chance of achieving it because you don't have so much stress and pressure into achieving it, and totally like being down on yourself when you don't. When this person comes in, if it's a person and not a job, I would say if this person is like super fucked up and toxic, I would say don't even bother with this person, because it could be like another round 8, 9, 10, you know, of the same shit. But if this person, you've had like a long-standing history and a lot of it was better than good, and this is a falling out of a situation, then maybe you should give him an opportunity, or at least unburden yourself, because life's too short to carry these grudges because of an argument's sake. But carrying this burden of having these thoughts and feelings that you never really speak of, or you never really share because of a fear of rejection, or, you know, a fear of letting anybody in, to the point that you isolate yourself. It's like, yeah, you'll protect yourself from getting hurt by anyone, but you'll also protect yourself from having any kind of deeper connection in your life. And then whatever metaphysical connection that you do have, which is in the spiritual sense, which is this telepathic communication sense, would always just kind of be there in the metaphysical and never really ground itself into reality. And this could go along for romantic relationships, for friendships, to like, you know, like career paths, to like passion projects, you know. But I don't know if any of that was helpful or made sense, but I hope it did. But that's what I got for you. Yeah. And if it was, smash that like button and donation box below if you feel moved to do so. I'll talk to you later. Love you lots. Bye.